Good morning, I'm Chuck Stokes. 60 years ago, Channel 7 was there when Rev Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made civil rights history in Detroit. But what's the real story behind the march before the march? And how will this special anniversary be commemorated this time around in just 2 weeks? We'll ask my guest, Jamon Jordan, official historian for the city of Detroit, and Rochelle Riley, Director of Arts and Culture for the city of Detroit. It's Sunday, June the 11th. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight.
So because of the legacy of slavery and segregation, many Negroes lost faith in themselves, and many felt that they were inferior. But then something happened to the Negro. Circumstances made it possible and necessary for him to travel more. The coming of the automobile, the upheavals of 2 world wars, the Great Depression.
June 23rd, 1963, historic day in the city of Detroit. We've had anniversaries about every 10 years commemorating that, and we've got a big 60th commemoration of that coming up. Jamon Jordan, you're the historian for the city of Detroit. Take me back to that day and the role that Detroit played. And you recently did a presentation for the Historical Society of Michigan, and it was titled The March Before the March. And you did a fabulous job.
Thank you.
With that.
Around May of 1963, Reverend Albert Clegg Jr., Reverend C.L. Franklin, Clarence LaVaughn Franklin, Reverend C.L. Franklin is the pastor at New Bethel Baptist Church, and Reverend Albert Clegg Jr. is the pastor of Central United Church of Christ, which will later become the Shrine of the Black Madonna.
Correct.
They are discussing supporting the civil rights movement in the South, particularly Birmingham, which has exploded in civil rights activism by this time, and also talking about the issues right here in the city of Detroit. And so they're talking about organizing a march. There's already talk of a major march happening in Washington, D.C., but they're talking about organizing one here in the city of Detroit. So they will found the Detroit Council for Human Rights, along with James Del Rio, who will later become a judge.
Right.
And Benjamin McFall, who is the owner of...
Who used to carry a gun on the bench under his robe, okay? But that's a different story.
And then Benjamin McFall, who's the owner of McFall Brothers Funeral Home. And so they will form this organization. Now, once they form this organization with this plan to do this march, which will eventually occur on June 23rd, 1963, on the anniversary of the end of the 1943 race riot in the city of Detroit. That's the reason for that date. Once they choose that, there's a lot of different groups who are opposed, first to this march, and then for the way the march was supposed to happen. So Albert Clegg, Reverend Albert Clegg, wanted an all-black march. And so there are groups who are opposed to that all-black march. They want a spirit of interracial cooperation, which is what the march on Washington is going to have, and they wanted that. So that will end up being a compromise that will change. So it will be Walter Reuther from the UAW will become one of the co-organizers of the march. And of course, the mayor of the city of Detroit, Jerry Kavanaugh, will join the march, John Swainson. So some people from the governor's office, Governor George Romney at that time, they will also be a part of the march. And so now you have this interracial cooperation happening with the march. So that part is handled.
I want to get Rochelle involved in this, and we're going to go back and pick up on that a little bit. Rochelle, fast forward to 2023, and you're involved with a major arts project that is going to help commemorate this. What is it?
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you that one of my proudest moments was interviewing Aretha Franklin about her father's role and how that helped spawn her interest in civil rights, which later led to her paying for people's bail, civil rights leaders' bail, and things like that.
That's right.
And she did, we should say, she did so much behind the scenes that people didn't realize, with her money and with her influence, and just flying into places where Dr. King was to sing, to help get the crowd out, all those things. So she never forgot from whence she came.
Absolutely. That was one of the most important pieces I ever did. But here's what's interesting. So many people still don't know, because of the efforts to hide African American history, that Dr. King gave his I Have a Dream speech here first. That march that you're talking about, it happened, and they marched down, a unified, diverse group marched down to the convention center, and he gave his I Have a Dream speech here first. So back in February of 2022, I asked the mayor to go to New York because we had more Detroiters working on Broadway than at ever before, a record number. And while he was there, he learned that there was going to be a bust of the legendary Woody King, the Broadway producer. And he said, we need to have that bust come.
From Detroit, trained at Wayne State University.
Absolutely. He said, we need to have that bus come here. So that summer, we brought Broadway to Detroit and brought all of those Broadway performers, the Tony Award winners, the Tony Award nominees, and the mayor gave them keys to the city, and we unveiled that bust. And the artist who I'd become friends with, Stan Watts, said, you know, I've got some other statues. We have this statue of Martin Luther King that someone has commissioned, and they want to donate it someplace. And I said, we want it. And I have a good reason.
Raise your hand.
In case you didn't know, Dr. King gave his I Have a Dream speech here before he gave it in Washington, so we're first in many ways. And he went, well, let me ask him. And of course the guy said, absolutely. It's this pharmaceutical guy who said, we would love to do that. It's an investment and tax write-off for him. We get a statue, and it's a standing statue of him speaking, which was so important to his legacy, his oratory. So we have this statue. And I find out about Freedom Weekend, and I called Rev Wendell Anthony, and I said, you got all this stuff going on. You know, we have a statue of Dr. King that I'd like to commemorate and dedicate on June 23rd, because that's the actual date of the speech. He said, that's a part of Freedom Weekend. We're gonna do the, so now there's a 4-day weekend that this is a part of that I'm so excited. We're gonna dedicate that statue on the exact anniversary on Hart Plaza.
Downtown on
Hart Plaza.
Right. All right, very good. All right, we need to get a little break in here. We will come right back, and we'll pick up on getting ready for the big march commemoration in Detroit. Stay with us. The NAACP has been the leader of this march every year except that first year in 1963. So to their credit, when Reverend Wendell Anthony became head of it, they said, we're going to lead this march. But back then, they weren't in the loop. Why?
Yeah, so there had been a conflict between the NAACP and Reverend C.L. Franklin being the leader of this march. They didn't see him as really a civil rights leader, and so they kind of had a hands-off approach on this march. They almost boycotted it, but kind of had a hands-off. They weren't really participants. And Reverend Wendell Anthony will tell you that we didn't participate in that first march, but we're going to be gung-ho in all the marches since then.
Well, I think Martin Luther King led an economic boycott in Montgomery, Alabama, which is where he came to fame. And another very famous quote by Martin Luther King was, new laws are not enough. The emergency we now face is economic. And that's a direct quote. I think the NAACP is doing a good job as a civil rights organization. The problem is people expect the NAACP to also be an economic development organization. That's where the black community fails. It's not that one organization should be everything. What we do not have in the black community is an economic development campaign or program.
I want to go back, Tony Brown, while we're with you via satellite in Atlanta, just a moment or two. Those of us who covered that realize, you know, this was an impressive march, and Martin Luther King was a factor. There was no question about that, and he was changing the face of history. Did you guys, though, as you organized that and you put it together, you saw all that massive humanity, did you realize, hey, we're making history right here, right now?
No.
There was no sense of history?
No, there was none.
Yeah.
The only sense we had was a sense of outrage. Remember,
every
night at 6 o'clock, we saw black women and children knocked down by water hoses and bitten by dogs.
And so, you're absolutely right, and you were, as I recall, one of the angry young Turks at that time.
That's right.
There were so many people involved back then, and they really didn't have a sense of how big that was, of what they did in Detroit at that particular time. But there were a lot of young Turks who were angry, as C.L. Franklin and others, and they pulled this together, and Tony was one of many that were sort of behind the scenes in the young part of their careers before they became worldwide famous. Thoughts?
This was the rise of the Young Turks. You know, you had all of these lions of the civil rights movement who had been doing things on their own, their way, and all of a sudden you had new young people who were rising up, not just in Detroit, but in Montgomery and Birmingham and Atlanta. And there were people who were not happy about Dr. King. There were people who were not happy about all of these young men who were trying to tell these older, warriors, what to do. It was probably one of the most important changes in the civil rights movement, because you don't have a movement if you don't have another generation to, take that torch.
But when you think back to what Tony was saying, he was saying in 1993 that it's really about economics, not so much about, there were a lot of civil rights battles that were won. But now in 2023, I wonder if he heard that somebody, if he would say, well, we've achieved some economic strides, but we're back to some of the same civil rights stuff when you look at what's going on here.
That's right, that's right. So yeah, when King comes and leads that march, and he gives a 30-minute speech here in the city of Detroit, twice as long as the one he gives in Washington, D.C., because he also addresses what's happening in places like Detroit, in the North. And what's happening in places like Detroit is, of course, school inequality. What also is happening is housing discrimination, property discrimination. What's also happening is job discrimination, so economics is a part of this. And of course, police brutality and criminal justice issues. This is what is happening in the North. In the South, it is cut and dry Jim Crow. You have labels, colored, white, signs for the lobbies, for the restaurants, for the water fountains, for the restrooms. He doesn't talk about all of those issues in Washington, D.C., because it's focused primarily on the southern portion of the civil rights movement in Washington, D.C.
Right. And of course, thousands marched down Woodward Avenue in 1963, ended up at Coble. At least how many?
At least 125,000.
A boatload of people.
That's a lot of people.
Ended up at Coble Hall. Dr. King gave his speech. Luckily, Channel 7 was there, so we have some few snippets of that, old black and white, and you see the Channel 7 mic flag. I want you all to listen to something here, and then we'll react to that.
So my friends of Rocky Mount, I have a dream tonight. It is a dream rooted deeply in the American dream. I have a dream that one day, down in Sasser County, Georgia, where they burned 2 churches down a few days ago because Negroes wanted to register and vote. One day right down there, little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and little white girls and walk the streets as brothers and sisters. I have a dream that one day, right here in Rocky Mountain, North Carolina, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will meet at the table of brotherhood, knowing that out of one blood God made all men to dwell upon the face of the earth. I have a dream.
Okay.
Wow.
Not Detroit.
No.
A little place you know about, Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Oh my God.
Miss Tar Heel.
Oh my God. My family is there right now. I cannot wait to get this from you and play that.
So here's the perspective, and the reason I bring it up, not to diminish what happened in Detroit, but that was November 27th, 1962.
That's right.
So 9 months before D.C., 7 months before Detroit.
Yes.
It was at a black high school in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Not nearly 125,000 people watching, not an integrated crowd, a black crowd, but Dr. King was testing out his I Have a Dream speech, putting it, not exactly the same words as Detroit and Washington, but pretty darn close. He was working on it.
That's right.
And that wasn't discovered until August of 2015. And then it was made official, and that never before heard recording, it was enhanced and was unveiled at North Carolina State University on their Centennial campus. Okay, so you know a little something about that.
Yes, I do.
Okay, but you're from University of North Carolina.
University of North Carolina.
Okay, so anyway, so you don't want to hear about North Carolina State, right? And I point that out because we've always thought Detroit was absolutely first, and then Washington, and Detroit sort of got eclipsed by Washington because it was Washington, and it was an even bigger crowd than here, even though we had a huge crowd here. This was a small crowd.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes to what African American ministers have done for years.
That's right.
They get a speech, they start tweaking it.
That's right.
And they're pulling it together. And so by the time he gets to Washington and Detroit, he don't have to read it. It's memorized. It's part of his life experiences along the civil rights trail.
That's right.
And he's picking up these different experiences.
Yes.
If there's anything, yeah, we probably need to start saying Detroit was the first major city in which he delivered it. But it doesn't diminish the history in North Carolina, the history here, or the history in Washington, do you think?
That's right.
Oh,
That's
no,
right.
it speaks to how long he had been dreaming, but it also speaks to how, as a minister, he got the reaction of different crowds in different places to get to Washington.
That's
What those kids and what that audience in that small space in Rocky Mount, which I'm thrilled to learn about, and then what he got from doing it in front of that many people in a convention center in Detroit. By the time he got to Washington, this was a speech he apparently had been working on for some time.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if Rocky Mount was the first one. He might have done it in a church somewhere.
And that's the fascinating thing about history. Every time you start covering rocks,
You
or taking
uncover
rocks up,
something else.
you may become with something else. And history evolves, history changes
right.
with what we know.
What we know.
But we didn't know that for months.
So he had been working on a dream speeches since 1960. Not that I have a dream, but he had been talking about this American dream. So he starts these American dream speeches. And then in 1962, after this church is burned down, and Prathia Hall, who is a woman minister, she gives a prayer where she talks about, I have a dream, but it doesn't sound like his dream, but it's really about that we're going to win this fight. We're going to win this fight against segregation and racism and lynchings in the South. And so he's there when she gives that prayer, and he begins to change his American dream speech and begin to talk about himself having a dream. And so I've been aware of this speech for a while, and he gives this speech to a small group in Rocky Mountain at the high school, and then it becomes a major speech when he gives it in the city of Detroit.
We want to talk about arts in the city, and we want to talk also about, what's the other thing?
The summit.
Oh, well, the summit. The summit. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Rochelle Riley, you were recently up on Mackinac Island, beautiful, picturesque Mackinac Island.
We're working to educate, elevate, and energize our creative workforce by commissioning 150 murals in neighborhoods across the city. It's called Honoring Our Neighborhoods, and it's going to be the largest arts training program in the city's history.
I can tell you, my friend Sam White, who is the founder of Shakespeare in Detroit, says it's best. It's business that brings people to Detroit. It's art that makes them stay. You cannot count on just whatever the economic activity is to make somebody love a city or want to live in a city. And what the mayor is doing, Mayor Mike Duggan is doing with the Blight to Beauty campaign, is to transform how Detroit looks and how people perceive the city. We're doing that through removal of graffiti, we're doing that through removal of abandoned buildings, and we're doing it with murals.
Well, and he had the good vision to create this department and realize that from your years of experience as a columnist, as a journalist with the depth of experience, the zillions of people that you interviewed, the zillions of stories, that you had an appreciation that goes across the board. And why not bring that into the administration of a city to help with this renaissance of the city?
I tell people all the time, I'm still doing my last day job. In my column, I convince people of things we should look at, things we should do, embracing our children, embracing education, embracing, the greatness of Detroit. I'm doing that now still, where we need to understand we have a creative workforce that is one of the best in the world, not just in the country. And if we start to pay attention to that and make sure that we give them the same type of support that artists and creatives, musicians, all of them in other cities get, there is no stopping us. We are at our best, and other people see it and know it. So we have to see it and know it, and we are doing great.
Talk about the summit for a minute, because that really kicks it all off on Thursday.
Right. That's right. So Thursday from 9 to 4 at the Wayne County Community College Northwest Campus, on Outer Drive.
That would be what, June 22nd? Or
June 22nd, that's right, June 22nd. On that Thursday, from all day, from 9 to 4, there will be workshops talking about, of course, this history. So I'll be there along with historian King Coleman, and we'll be talking about the history around the 1963 march. But then after that, there will be workshops on criminal justice, on voting, on education, and there will be a keynote by Kimberly Crenshaw, who is one of the formulators of what is now called critical race theory. And so she'll be talking about what it is, what it ain't, and can we just tell the truth?
That's right. That's right.
And then the call to action will be by Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, of course, a well-noted scholar, but coming
Detroiter.
right here from the city of Detroit.
From Detroit. We'll come back and do a real quick final segment. I want to get both of your reaction to a man who's probably breaking records at the NAACP. We'll be right back. Stay with us. A few weeks ago, Rev Dr Wendell Anthony, president of the Detroit NAACP, was on this program, and I asked him a question, and you know, you all know him. He's colorful. He always has a word for you. You never catch him by surprise. But I think he was a little surprised by this question, and I want you to see his answer, and then let's talk a little bit about the role that he's played there.
People coming up to me, Chuck, this is serious, this is real, that I don't know. It's like the security man here at Channel 7. I don't know that brother. I just met him coming in. People coming up to me at the gas station, the grocery store, the post office, saying, "You that Reverend, ain't you?" I said, "What you mean?" I said, "Yeah, you that Reverend. Thank you for what you're doing for us. Thank you for being out there." When I came in, security guard, Reverend Anthony, thank you. We appreciate all that you're doing in civil rights,
And
man.
times when sometimes you think they aren't noticing, they're always
Chuck,
watching.
it always happens when I ask myself, is anybody paying attention? Does it make a difference? Should I stay in this? 30 years I've been president.
I can't think of anybody that's been in that position longer than that in Detroit. But your reaction to the role that he has played in that job and in this city?
It is monumental. When you talk about a sustainability and stability that's needed for civil rights, there are several organizations that do different things, but the NAACP has been at the forefront of this battle since 1909. This city owes a huge debt of gratitude to somebody who's willing to be in that battle for that long.
That's right. Yeah, the Detroit branch of the NAACP was founded in 1912, just 3 years after the national organization was founded. So if you're talking about Detroit civil rights, you can't talk about Detroit civil rights and leave out the Detroit branch of the NAACP. And if you're talking about civil rights fights in the last 30 years, you can't leave out talking about Reverend Wendell Anthony.
All right. Jamon Jordan, Rochelle Riley, thanks so much for coming in. Always a pleasure talking with you, getting your wisdom, and hopefully through osmosis, I'm sucking up some of it. I'm Chuck Stokes. We'll be back next week with more newsmakers in the spotlight. We hope you have a great week.